What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mental Groove. Today, we're diving into another real talk moment from Kevin Samuels that's got people fired up. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hang around. I'll be breaking it all down right after the video. Let's get started.
Hi, well, how old are you?
I'm 27.
All right, so I'm talking about this whole notion of cost or sacrifice. What is a man? Or did you have a question? Turn off the comments on your page.
Phone just went out.
Okay. I'm talking about, is a man a cost or a sacrifice? Or do you have a question?
Can you further
Are you
explain that
single or
to
are you
me?
married?
Single.
Any children?
No.
All right. I've been asking the question to women, would you be willing to quit your full-time job to work part-time for your man?
Yes.
All right. Would you, that already changed. So do you want to get married?
I actually do. Eventually. Yes.
Eventually, about what age?
In the next few years, I would say.
Next few years? Next 3 years? Next 5 years?
By 30, probably. Yeah.
What month is your birthday in?
May.
So you'll be 28 in May?
Yes.
And do you want children after marriage?
Yes, I would like one boy and one girl.
Do you want 2 kids? You can't predict that.
Yeah.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Did you complete college?
Sorry?
Did you complete college?
No, I did not actually. I wanted to be a psychologist, but then I changed my mind. I'm actually a barber, hairstylist.
Here we go. And unmarriable. When I asked about marriage, why was the hesitation one day, and then it turns out you want to be married in less than 2 years or some change?
I'm a little nervous.
Why?
That's probably why there was hesitation.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know why you ladies feel like that's a sufficient answer. That's your biological clock. You're about to slam face first into the wall. How long is your longest relationship?
2 years.
When did it end?
A year ago.
Who ended it?
It was mutual.
No, it's never mutual. It's never mutual. So either we're gonna have a real conversation or I'm just gonna, come on, it's never mutual. Who ended it?
It actually was mutual.
It's never mutual.
Yeah.
Never mutual. See, I'm already seeing the issue here, but I don't know if you see it.
What's the issue?
No. We do it my way, not yours. It's never mutual. Who ended it?
I mean, we were
the likelihood of you and Roger coming to the house on a Thursday at 5 o'clock and saying, you know what? I think we should end it. And y'all on the same page at the same time. That's mutual. No. There's a problem, there's a breakup, come on.
Yeah. I mean, we were just arguing a lot and we just both decided that.
How many times have you guys broken up before the final breakup?
A couple times.
How many times?
It was kind of like.
How many times did you cheat?
No, I never cheated on him.
You never had sex with another man?
No.
Never had sex with another woman?
No.
You never gave your number to a man and DM'd?
The only time I did that was with clients.
So if you were in
when
a
they
happy
wanted to come
committed,
in.
so if you were in a happy committed monogamous fulfilling relationship, you mean to tell me your text messages with your ex would have stood up to him just going through and looking at them?
It didn't really have much to do with that. I mean,
I'm
it
just
was
saying,
more
ma'am, you
so.
know what I'm saying is women often think cheating is having sex, and you guys often flirt with men. Y'all
Mhm.
have men up on deck and everything else. I'm not new to this. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, we move forward. You're 28, you're a barber.
Yes.
Seriously. At what
He
age?
was he was definitely intimidated by my job. That's for sure.
Bro?
He didn't like the fact that, I was cutting men's hair. I think that kind of,
How old was he?
2 years older than me.
What did he do for a living?
Insurance.
Okay. We'll come back to that one.
Okay.
But if you had to say, you're 28 chronologically, how would you say you're emotionally?
Um, I don't know. I would say a lot of people tell me I'm mature for my age.
Okay. For 28?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
Or like, yeah.
28, man. In 1940 or 1950, you would have been married and probably had 3 or 4 kids by now.
Mhm.
You said I don't know to major things 4 or 5 times. So the people who are telling you mature must be in junior high. It's not an insult, man, but I'm asking you important developmental questions. First, I asked you about marriage. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe one day in the future, and it turns out you want to be married by 30. That's 2 years.
I feel like there are some things that I want to work on mentally before I get married.
Okay.
Um,
That's fair.
I've been through a lot, so I want to
What's the
make sure
purpose of
that
marriage? What's the purpose of marriage in your opinion?
um companionship, um security.
You buy a dog for companionship. You get an alarm system
Yeah.
for security.
Hmm.
Family,
Yeah.
children. Are you prepared to be somebody's wife and their mother and then somebody's mother?
I think that I'm still working on myself, emotionally and mentally,
So the answer
definitely, because
is no.
yeah, I'm not ready yet.
All right.
No.
So are you in therapy now?
No, I'm not in therapy, but
Okay.
I listen to
Okay.
podcasts, self-help books.
No, podcasts don't do shit. You need therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy. Because man, let's start from the beginning. The clock.
Yeah.
Women, the clock makes decisions for you guys.
Hmm.
And at 30, so like let's say you were emotionally mature and ready. And you met a
Yes.
guy who wants to be married, marriage minded, your kind of guy. How long do you think from meeting him on day one, do you think it should take before you're engaged?
Um, I would say a year.
And how long from being engaged before you marry?
I wouldn't want it to be that long. So maybe like 2 years.
2 years of engagement? Is that what I'm hearing? 2 years of engagement?
Yeah, actually, yeah, two
Okay,
years.
so a year before you engage, 2 years engaged.
Hmm.
Buy a dog, die alone. That's 3 years, man.
Oh no, I mean like 2 years. Like the first year would be
That's
engaged and engaged for another year to plan, everything.
okay. That's why I asked
Yeah.
twice. But either way,
Okay.
it's still two. That's still 2 years. What do you need to be with somebody a year and engaged for a year, are you going to be paying for your own wedding? Are you going to do it just as a piece, or are you going to have a wedding?
I definitely want a wedding for sure.
Your mother and father got the money to pay for that?
My dad, he's an engineer.
Your mother and father have the money to pay for that?
Well, my mom's not around, but she
Your
passed
father's,
away.
you're your only child?
No, I have 2 younger brothers.
So your father's going to pay for your wedding?
I've never talked to him about that, actually.
So the answer is?
If I asked him, he
So if
would.
your father doesn't pay for it, who's going to pay for it? See, these are grown-up questions.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess I want to get. I would have to, I guess. My husband or his family.
Yeah, that's not his responsibility. Not his responsibility.
Yeah.
You're a modern woman. You're not a wife. You make decisions based in fear, scarcity, and lack. I mean, come on. If I met a perfect guy, the right guy, it's going to at least be 2 years before I'm married. Because I want who to see you get married? Your clients?
No.
Who? Your mom ain't going to be around. Who? Your family?
No, it's for me.
It's for your ego. Do you make
Why
the
do
kind of money
you
to pay
say
for a
that?
wedding? Do you make enough money to afford the kind of wedding you want?
No, definitely not.
Then what the French toast are you talking about? See, that's why I wanted to show you guys. This is not a black woman thing. This is a modern woman thing. You average ass women have these fanciful visions. You're not a wife and you want some guy who's to wait for you to be perfect on day one while you're in process. Cool. But 2 years is too long.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has to pay for a wedding. To impress who?
Well, I mean, if I wanted a wedding, I'd probably ask my dad for that.
And you
If I
still gotta
can't,
pay
if I don't
for
have
it.
the
And
money.
then what about the children
But
and family and everything? See, that's what I mean. Women today
I mean,
want weddings. They don't want marriages. They are worried about impressing other women. This is insane.
that's not necessarily true. I mean, I guess it would have to also be a discussion between me and my fiance
It's
as
a
well.
discussion between the bank. You don't make enough money to pay for this.
Yeah.
How much do you think a wedding would cost?
I don't know exactly. I know it's a lot of money. I don't know how
So
much.
you would take that away from your family and your house.
I mean, isn't that traditional? Like traditionally.
You're not a traditional woman. Are you a virgin?
No.
You're not a traditional woman. And I'm saying this, man, you women want traditional outcomes. Weddings, white dresses, and you're schizophrenic, psychotic non-virgins with trust issues.
Interesting.
Not interesting. You can't afford to pay, like most women, you can't afford to pay for the lifestyle you want. So a man is going to have to step into it. Either your daddy or your husband's family. I wish if you had a man who was a thorough man, what you want us to pay for wedding with you, nigga? Go find another woman. Something wrong with her.
I don't know. I'm still working on myself financially and emotionally and mentally. So
What's the first thing I asked you what the marriage is about? You said companionship.
well, yeah, like partnership.
There's no. You can't make this shit up.
I mean, I would love to build an empire with the man I'm with.
Build an empire, lady. You cut hair for a living.
Yeah, I mean,
Empire what?
You couldn't make
I have other goals like real estate and.
Oh Jesus! He said it. Real estate, right?
Why?
Real estate. She's the stylist, the stylist with the real estate. You can't make this shit up. I want an empire. An empire,
Yeah.
really? How much was an empire would you make annually? How much you think you'd be making annually? You and your husband together, how much do you think you'd be bringing home in this empire?
It depends on the man. I mean, it depends on his
Yeah, but
job.
you got the empire. When you got the empire, when it's what you want, the empire, how much?
I don't know, maybe like 100, 200.
100, 200 as an empire?
I mean, it could
100?
start there, and it could always we
No,
could
no,
always
no. The
work our way up.
empire. Empire's on $100,000.
Yeah.
What state do you live in?
New Jersey.
$100,000 in New Jersey?
Well, no,
Oh
it's
my!
gonna be a lot more than that. Maybe
Oh my
like 500.
God!
Working for somebody else? Where am I get it? In the government? Where am I get it?
Entrepreneurs galore. Wealth, empires. Man, you do hair. You cut hair. You're a barber. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're not paid. You're in New Jersey. Sound like you're right along the modern path, but you want a man who's a husband to delay starting his life with his wife for 2 years so you can have some wedding that you can't afford to pay for, your family ain't gonna pay for, so your father has to take out of his retirement, or your husband is you're gonna have to go into debt for it. Then you want an empire, you're gonna start off with wedding debt. And who's gonna attend this wedding? Who are these people you're gonna impress? Because you're talking $10,000 on the low end.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, modern women have been fed this Disney fantasy to where you just sit there like, well, that's what I want. That's what I want. And do you realize that you go out on the streets of New Jersey and look to your left, look to your right. All the single women want the same thing you are, but you're not virgins, and you're not wives. You're not even emotionally ready for a real relationship.
Yeah, I've been through a lot that I need to work on
Okay,
emotionally.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But if you were a vehicle, okay, even if you were a Ferrari, if you've had something, what kind of price could you put on it? With all the
On
stuff,
myself?
on the stuff no, if you were a car, what kind of price? If you were a car, let's say you were a Mercedes.
Okay.
Let's say you're a 500 series Mercedes, but with the stuff you've been through, what price would you put on the 2020? What price would you put on that Mercedes? Damn sure can't be factory new.
Mm, I don't know, because I think I have a lot to offer.
Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for it. They never want to lower their price.
No, I don't think I'm
Ma'am, you
brand
are
new. I
you
think
are
I've
human. You're 28 and you're damaged like us all. You can't get brand new prices. You said you
I
got
don't think I'm
damaging
brand
issues.
new, but
Okay, but okay, what? Okay, my point is, women never want to settle. They never want to lower their price to match what they are. You have a lot to offer. So this is what you tell the buyer. Hey, this Mercedes has been involved in an accident. We straightened out the frame. We fixed the transmission. We painted it. Now, and if they show you a car that was damn near total before and after, and said, brand new, this car is $95,000, but we'll give it to you for 88. You'd be like, I see all this damage. Yeah, but it's fixed and it has a lot to offer. What it didn't show you is it had low miles or it had been driven a certain way. Man, you got damage and miles. And you want a high-end lifestyle. Why would a man who can afford to have an empire choose that as a wife?
Well, even if I'm working on myself, like
So
emotionally.
what? You can go get a 22-year-old who don't need work.
Well, I'm not gonna date or I'm not gonna be in a relationship unless I'm ready mentally. I'm not gonna expect the man to,
What
wait
did I
for
tell
me
you
or
guys? I tell you ladies better learn something real quick. You better be prepared to meet a man at his level. Man, at 29, at 28 years old, you're getting older. You're already in the category, and the Chinese will call you leftover women. What kind of leverage do you have in the dating marketplace to demand a high price? Even if you got yourself mentally together, what's the leverage?
I mean, I'm in great shape.
Okay.
I'm sweet. I'm kind.
Is that abnormal in a dating world? Is that
I think
special?
those are, I'm sorry?
Is that special?
I think there are other people out there that, have a lot to offer as well,
See, what
but
I need
are
you ladies to
younger.
understand is you need to start. This is why the sexual marketplace value. Really are pricing yourself appropriately. Y'all look at yourselves and you guys give yourself the benefit of the doubt and want to keep your price as high as possible. And ma'am, you're in New Jersey, the tri-state area. There are a lot of people up there. And
Yeah.
you're going to have to adjust your price for the market. How many kids would you want if you had children? Did you say 2? A boy and a
I would
girl?
say 2.
Do you want to have to work after you're pregnant with your first child and married?
I mean, I would love to be like a stay-at-home mom and take care of my kids.
Okay. How much would a man need to make in New Jersey to have a stay-at-home wife?
So I'm just gonna go based off of how I grew up. My dad being an engineer, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. They had 3 kids. I would say like 200.
How much is your rent?
Right now, I am moving, so it's 14.
Okay. You want to live in a house or an apartment? A stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
House?
Yeah.
Let's just say 200. Let's just say 200. What
I'm
percentage of
going
men?
based upon, how I
Well,
grew
that's
up.
fine, but what percentage of men in this country? What percentage of men in this country make $200,000 or more?
In the country, I don't really know the statistics.
Just guess.
Maybe like 10%.
10% of men make 100,000. You're talking about around 5% of men, 5 to 3% of men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm being extremely generous with the numbers. What would a man in the top 3 to 5% of earners, who arguably most women would want, because they would want a stay-at-home lifestyle, what do you think he would want from a woman?
With that type of money, with that type of income, respect, kindness, love.
Cooperation.
Yeah.
What's your last boyfriend? How long you said that relationship lasted?
That was for 2 years.
And
But
what did he do for a living?
that was not a healthy relationship.
What did he do for a living?
Insurance.
And how much did he make annually?
I think it was like 60, but he's still working on himself financially.
I had my 6 and my 63. Ma'am, have you ever dated a man making more than $75,000 a year?
Yeah, actually.
Seriously,
I have.
seriously
I
dated.
have.
Seriously dated. Seriously.
Yeah.
What age were you?
I was younger. I was 22.
How long did you date him?
That was also for 2 years, but it was, yeah.
Man, why do you think you get men making twice as much or 3 times as much older?
Can you repeat the question?
Why do you think you get a man making 2 to 4 times as much when you're older? This is how women think.
I feel like
women
it would be when
think
you're
of
younger.
it this way. Women look at it, I'm older, I make more money, I'm more experienced, my income has gone up, so you guys think your sexual marketplace value should go up. When you're older, more used, more damaged, you're not your 21-year-old self.
Yeah.
It needs to come down. If your last man was making 60, that's about what you can expect. 50 to 60. That's your man. And if you found a man making 50 to 60, if you got married, you'd have to work full time with 2 kids. Is it worth getting married and having 2 children if you got to work full time like you do now for the rest of your life? You got to work just as hard as you're working now. You can't take a break. You got to work because you got 2 mouths to feed. Is it worth it?
I feel like that would be a little bit of a struggle. I would want to be there for my kids.
She said it.
Yeah.
Women today want to be luxury married or single. You guys are so fucking lazy. Like I said, this isn't a black thing, folks. This is a modern thing. You heard it. I put the question. You got to work like you do today, and you're willing to do that. But in order to enhance your life with a husband, a mate, someone to chronicle and walk through life with you, and you would get 2 children, that is not enough of a benefit. You didn't hear her say, well, yeah, I'm going to have to work anyway, right? But I get a husband and kids? Sure. No, I get a husband and kids. I'm supposed to have to do less. Or, no, ma'am, I know what I heard. If I'm going to have a husband, he needs to lighten my load. That's insane, man. Where are your people from?
I wouldn't say that's
ancestrally. I'll let you. And where are your people from?
What do you mean?
Ancestrally, where are your people from?
Oh, they're from Italy.
Okay. Turn of the century.
They're all
Little
about
Italy. Turn of the century. Little Italy. From the 1880s to the 1910s. Italian immigrants. Those women had multiple children. Were they working in those tenements? In those, come on, were those women working? Come on, Sopranos.
And look at you. You're average at best.
Come on, Meadow. You know what I'm talking about. Italian women worked.
Yeah.
And they had more kids. And they built the family. You want to be Carmela up in this bitch. I don't want to have to work. Tony, go to work. No, you're going to be Artie Bucco's chick. You're going to be the maitre d' at the restaurant. Huh?
That's not true. I want to financially build myself up as well.
Oh my God, you're a barber.
Why? Why do you say
Adriana,
that?
you're a barber. You're a barber. And I'm no offense, man. You're a barber.
I mean, I'm trying to get into real estate, so
That's
how?
fine. You know if I had a man sitting here talking about I'm a barber, but you're not getting into real estate, you don't understand. You're not tuned into the punchline of the jokes because this is real. They really believe that they can get into real estate. Miss Henry, listen to what I'm saying. They really believe that they can get into real estate. That's why I was telling these women. That's why I talk about the attorney and the realtor. It's real estate, some sort of entrepreneurialism, which is the magical voodoo that's supposed to elevate them from middle class to luxury or rich lifestyle. But you said at the end of the day, man, that if a man can't if I have to work as much or more than having a husband and children, it's worth it. I'd rather be single. Thank you for being honest, but that makes you a modern woman. So,
I mean, not necessarily true, because I'm thinking about the struggles that mothers go
well, it
through.
doesn't matter. 73% of mothers in this country work full or part-time. So I don't know why you modern ass women feel like you should all be stay-at-home wives when you didn't get married at 19 and a virgin. Shut up.
Not necessarily that, but I would like to be at home and
I don't
raise
care.
my kids.
I get what you would like to have to do, but you didn't choose that life when you were young. You didn't choose that life when you're young and virginal. You can't do that at 30 and want your price. You could have did that when you were 18 to 22. You can't do it now. We won't do it. Men won't do it. Your head is cut off. It's just not going to happen. And men are like, why should we pay young virgin bride prices for women who are at the wall?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't even try to make fair deals. So here's the marketplace. Men think like I do. Shout out to my Italian brothers, because I know they think like me. Fucking forget about it. I know. Anyway, if you don't get married, okay, are you going to have your $2.4 million that you're going to need to retire on from age 65 to 85? 2.4 million cash. Cash. Not in investments, not in cash. You're going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have it.
I don't know.
No, you're not. Because you cut hair. Because if you could be a barber and make that kind of money, I'd want to be a barber. Because it's low.
Well, what if I invest in real estate and make
Where's the money going to
that
come
way?
from to invest in real estate, man?
Well, I have an inheritance.
Okay, so your daddy.
No.
How much of an inheritance we talking?
I already have an inheritance. My
Okay,
mom.
how much of an inheritance we talking about? 7 figures, 6 figures, 8 figures?
About 80,000.
Man, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot, okay? And this is why I focus on the fact that this is a modern woman problem. You ladies have been separated from us as men, and you guys wanted to be independent, to make your own decisions, and now you're out here with no long-term plan, no real financial literacy, and y'all all talking buzzwords. Cryptocurrency, real estate, investment, stocks, and that ain't your real life. Name me 6 companies you're invested in. Name me 6 Fortune 500 companies. What are you invested in right now?
Oh no, I'm saying invest in real estate, like properties. Like when I haven't started
you,
yet.
Okay, so you're talking about flipping houses.
I haven't started yet.
So this is why when I did that show, The Lion's Den, and I said there's no such thing as free money, real estate is supposed to work this way. I take cash and I go invest it in real estate, and it's a casino machine. And I put in cash and out comes profit. There's no cost, there's no loss. Then I'm supposed to take it, flip it. It's supposed to be better than the dope game. Man, it sounds crazy. If people, if you could take $80,000 and turn it into this, you know how many people will go out and get 80 grand and invest in real estate if it was just that simple. All my realtors and all my people who have property, I own property. I talk to them, it doesn't work this way, but it's the thing that's been told to women. You can invest in real estate or property or crypto, like there's no cost to this stuff. Like it's just, I take it there and out comes magic.
No, that's not really, because I went to school for real estate, like to be a real estate agent. I mean, that's my way of building that money up.
Man, okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna
Well,
take
if that's
me
the case, I want you to. If that's the case, then I'll need you to just go through IG and go through LinkedIn and see how many women who are realtors, and see how many of them have going to have $2.4 million retired on. Man, I'm trying to be as delicate, but you won't. This is why I can speak about this so well. They really believe this stuff. I got a real estate license, which is a license to just print money. You're a barber. You're a barber, and my point is, if you ladies and women like yourself don't figure out how to come into agreement with the man that's on your sexual marketplace level, lower your standards, make a good deal, and stay in a relationship, we should have no sympathy that you end up homeless. Elderly and homeless. You are still at the age to where you still have a chance to get your shit together. Danger zone! And for you, just like most women, it means a husband and being a wife to him and making children for both of you and learning to work with a man and be with him for a lifetime. You're not a 10%, 3%, 1% earner. You're a middle class earning woman.
Yeah.
You can't be free, separated. You need a man. And you better do something about it before you hit 30, because especially on your side of the planet, after 30, the numbers start to change. These over on here, a lot of sisters like black don't crack. Well, shit changes on your side. The wall is real. And I don't know if you date out. Do you date, or do you prefer your husband to be Italian?
No, not necessarily.
Was your last boyfriend Italian?
No. He was Spanish. He wasn't Italian.
All right. Well, my point is, people in the middle have always had to get together for survival.
Mm-hmm.
Even Italian Americans, you had to, the family. You can't survive out here by yourself. You'll make enough money to invest in real estate. $80,000, all it takes is another pandemic or a downturn, or 2008 when we had a financial crisis. You lose all your money, then where are you going to go? Family, man, is your protection in this system. Where in the world, I'm going to wrap it up after this, where in the world, in the animal kingdom or whatever, do you see solitary single females surviving and thriving by themselves? Single, solitary females in nature surviving by themselves.
I would say just the ones that make a lot of money.
In nature. The animal kingdom.
Yeah. Oh, no, not at all.
No.
Yeah. No.
Right. You're not meant to be by yourself. You're meant to be the support system. They help me.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, appreciate it. This was a good conversation. These are two long ones, but two good ones.
She's 27, still young, still figuring things out. But when Kevin Samuels asked her the most basic question, do you want to be married? Her answer, I'm not sure. Kevin pauses, then asks, why not? And she says what too many modern women say, I don't know.
Kevin wasn't rude, he wasn't harsh, he was honest. Because women today are taught to float through their most fertile, most desirable years, wasting time, avoiding decisions, and living in I don't know. But men, especially men of value, aren't lining up to wait for women who aren't sure. Kevin always said, indecision is a decision, and most women decide too late. At 27, a woman should know what she wants. Marriage isn't just a concept, it's a strategy. It's about future, family, structure, legacy.